Waco, Temple, and Killeen. Your news now. This is Fox 44 News at 9.
Good evening and thanks for joining us at Fox 44 News at 9. I'm PJ Hessner. We begin tonight in Killeen, where police are investigating a motorcycle incident that left one man dead on Saturday evening. Around 7 p.m., officers were dispatched to the area of West Cliff Road and Moonlight Drive in reference to a 911 call about a crash involving a vehicle and a dirt bike, which was reportedly stolen out of Nolanville. Upon arrival, they located an unconscious man lying in the roadway. Emergency personnel immediately began life-saving measures, and he was transported to the hospital where he succumbed to his injuries. There, 28-year-old Lamar Levance Lilly was pronounced deceased by medical staff. Police say the man was not wearing a helmet and was on the street illegally with no lights. Well, Texas Governor Greg Abbott will be paying a visit to Temple tomorrow to be the special guest for a Parent Empowerment Coalition event. The coalition is hosting its Parent Empowerment Night, which will take place from 6 p.m. until 7 p.m. at the Central Texas Christian School. The school is located at 4141 West Highway 93. The coalition will be highlighting the school and discussing the growing need and desire for parent empowerment. The organization says that parent empowerment is built on the foundational principles of transparency, quality, respect, and choice, and they want to bring the community together to focus on these things. Governor Greg Abbott has made education one of his top priorities this year, and the coalition says they're honored to host him as a special guest speaker at the upcoming event. And Bell County Commissioner Louis Minor is launching a fundraiser tomorrow to remove the Confederate statue in front of the Bell County Courthouse to a new location. Minor wants to relocate this statue because of the Confederacy's history of not representing all races. In 2020, the commissioners voted to have a general referendum on the situation for public input, but the plan has been on halt. The state legislature hasn't picked up the situation to allow the Bell County community to vote on the future of the statue. Minor emphasizes that no taxpayer dollars will go towards relocating the statue. The fundraiser goal for removal and relocation of the statue will cost $150,000. The fundraiser tomorrow with a protest taking place at the Bell County Courthouse. And it's Girl Scout season, which means young girls all over the country are trying to win the hearts and appetites of their family, friends, and neighbors for a good cause. Earlier today, Fox 44's Hannah Hoover visited with a local Girl Scout troop to see if they're close to reaching their cookie sale goals.
Girl Scouts cookie season is here, and Central Texans love visiting places like Lowe's or Walmart to find their favorite cookie snacks. But it's so much more than just dessert, because these cookies help girls learn more about the outdoors, life skills, entrepreneurship, and STEM. Cookie sales allow Girl Scouts to experience new adventures and learn. The Girl Scout Cookie Program is the largest girl-led entrepreneurship program in the world. Girl Scout Jasa Cowan has exceeded her goal of selling 800 boxes with nearly 1,000 boxes sold. Jasa has been a Girl Scout for 8 years. She explains why Girl Scouts is important to her.
It helps with our social anxiety to let ourselves out there. I've actually made some really good friends in here.
Jasa also enjoys going on camping trips and attending science fairs thanks to her cookie sales. Jasa's mom, Savannah Humphrey, has seen a lot of growth in her daughter as well as other girls in the program. Real life lessons and leadership skills is what Girl Scouts teach.
Working outside of the stores, it gives them that real life interaction with people that they really just don't know. I've seen some girls blossom from being very, very shy to very open, and I've seen them sell some cookies too.
The entrepreneurial spirit of Girl Scouts teaches them goal setting, decision making, money management, people skills, and business ethics. Local Girl Scouts are on track to reach their cookie sale goals this year. Cookie sales have been extended to March 5th due to the recent ice storm. But for now, I'm going to enjoy this cookie. In Waco, Hannah Hoover, Fox 44 News.
Well, Secretary of State Antony Blinken meeting face-to-face yesterday in Munich with his Chinese counterpart for the first time since the U.S. shot down the Chinese spy balloon 2 weeks ago. This comes as lawmakers question why the U.S. has called off the search for the 2 other objects shot down over Alaska and Lake Huron last weekend. Fox's David Spunt is at the White House with the latest.
4 objects in total, all shot down by the U.S. military. The only one recovered, the Chinese spy balloon. Now, we are told by senior administration officials the other 3 likely have no ties to China. Canada suspended the search to recover one over the Yukon Territory. Now, here's White House spokesman John Kirby this morning.
We've called off now the search in Lake Huron and the one over Alaska, so we may never know completely. But the leading intelligence community assessment is that they were probably for benign purposes, whether it's weather or commercial scientific research.
Meanwhile, President Biden says he plans to speak to his counterpart, Chinese President Xi Jinping, about the Chinese balloon incident after Secretary of State Antony Blinken met with his counterpart, Wang Yi, in Germany over the weekend, although the Chinese did not apologize and are spinning the story.
They're lying about the balloon the same way they've lied about COVID. And it's time for us to stop being reactionary to China and start actually being aggressive and letting China know what we expect of them.
The president leaves on Monday for Poland to mark the grim one-year anniversary of the war in Ukraine, and Secretary Blinken made it clear to his counterpart China's help to Russia is unacceptable.
China has been engaged in providing rhetorical, political, diplomatic support to Russia, but we have information that gives us concern that they are considering providing lethal support to Russia in the war against Ukraine. And it was important for me to share very clearly with Wang Yi that this would be a serious problem.
As of now, White House officials say there is no plan for President Biden to physically enter Ukraine. At the White House, David Spunt, Fox News.
Bipartisan calls for an investigation into the train derailment that spilled toxic chemicals into a small Ohio community. The crash and controlled burn of poisons forced thousands in East Palestine to flee their homes. The EPA says it has not detected any contaminants in the town's drinking water and that tests have shown the air is safe to breathe. But many residents in East Palestine and other nearby towns are concerned about the potential long-term health effects. Fox's Garrett Tenney is live in East Palestine, Ohio.
It's now been more than 2 weeks since the train derailment, and people here are still feeling sick despite officials saying the data suggests the air and water are safe. And these are just the short-term symptoms from chemical exposure. Even more concerning to a lot of people here is what health issues they could potentially be dealing with 10 to 15 years down the road as a result of this disaster.
I think we do need to be concerned about the long-term effects of exposure to this chemical. Back in 2012, there were hundreds of people who went to the ER in the aftermath of that train derailment, and a lot of them did have symptoms, but fortunately, most of those symptoms went away pretty quickly within a month or so of the exposure. But again, the long-term effects do take years, sometimes decades, to actually occur.
Norfolk Southern Railway has promised it will be here for the long haul to make things right. And during his visit to the area this weekend, the railway CEO reiterated that commitment.
This has been devastating to this community, and I want to make sure you understand I am terribly sorry that this happened to the community. Norfolk Southern is fully committed to doing what's right for this community.
City and state officials say so far Norfolk Southern has done everything it's promised to, but they acknowledge there is a very long road ahead, and if at any point the railway tries to walk away, there will be plenty of lawsuits to follow. In East Palestine, Ohio, I'm Garrett Tenney, Fox News.
This portion of Fox 44 News at 9 is sponsored by Kish Complete Car Care Center.
Are you tired of driving all over town for your car care needs? Leave your troubles at the door and we will handle the rest while you carry on with your busy day. Because your time is valuable. At Kish Complete Car Care Center, we do it all at one shop.
Our award-winning staff will show you why we're consistently voted #1 in Waco.
And how we've been keeping families safe, honestly, since 1998.
For a complete list of our services, visit CompleteCarCareCenter.com.
The best keep getting better. Ford SUVs are #1 in brand loyalty. And your Texas Ford dealer has a great SUV inventory, with more arriving daily so you can choose your favorite. Edge, Bronco Sport, Escape, Explorer, and Expedition. Getting your new SUV has never been easier. Choose select Ford SUVs and get 0% for 36 months plus up to $3,000 cash. Visit your best in Texas Ford dealer today.
Do you know an amazing kid that's excelled in sports, community, or education? Join Fox 44 and Lone Star Roof Systems to recognize the achievements of these amazing individuals in the Brazos Valley. Starting June 1st, 2022, you can nominate one student under 12 years of age that deserves to be recognized for our 12 and under 12 Amazing Kids Spotlight. Go to fox44news.com/12 under 12 to nominate your pick. Sponsored by Lone Star Roof Systems.
Are you confused about your investments? Want more time with your family and friends? At Van Dyke Capital Management, we want to help you with your investments. We want to be your neighborhood friend. You're important to us. Call today.
What makes Best Reviews the best reviews?
Nope.
They have an unbiased team that researches products in real-world situations to give reliable recommendations on pretty much everything. So you can be confident that whatever you're buying is right for you, no matter what life throws at it. Like your daughter Clementine, for example. For the best reviews, go to bestreviews.com. Seriously, before you buy anything, ever.
Download or update the Fox 44 News mobile app and get your news now. The Fox 44 weather forecast with Weather Rate certified meteorologist Haley Fitzpatrick.
All right, Haley, I know I give you a lot of heat, but today was a beautiful day.
I know, it was
I
so
loved
nice,
today.
Despite the clouds.
Yeah.
It was definitely warmer today than it was yesterday, and we saw temperatures top out in the 50s yesterday. Today, upper 60s, lower 70s. Luckily, tomorrow we're going to be in the 80s. Okay, if you missed the summer heat, it's coming back. Only for a couple days, so I mean, we're going to be well above normal until about probably next weekend. But yeah, temperatures right now at this time yesterday were about maybe 10 to 11 to maybe even 17 degrees cooler than where we're at right now. Waco, of course, we always fall. Our temperatures just drop at this hour. So despite Waco, everywhere else, I definitely saw a very, very warm afternoon. Like I said, upper 60s and lower 70s. Going to keep the warmer air going, okay? It's going to be unseasonably warm throughout much of the work week into the following weekend. We're also going to sprinkle in our next rain chance heading into late Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning. So your Wednesday morning commute could be on the wet side. And of course, once that cold front moves through, we're also going to see a little bit of cooler weather for Thursday and Friday, only in the 60s. It's still going to feel pretty nice out there, though, but we'll rebound back into those 70s for the weekend. But right now in Temple, this is our live Syntex Seamless Gutter Sky Tracker. Temperature of about 61 degrees over in Temple, a south wind at 9 miles per hour. It says it's mostly clear, but it's actually pretty cloudy out there, keeping those high clouds going throughout the overnight into tomorrow. They should break by the afternoon, which is a good thing, but we're still holding steady in those 50s and 60s. There we go. Like I said, Waco, always wanting to be the dramatic one, dropping to the coolest temperature on the map, but 59 in Hearn, 59 in Cameron, 61 in Temple, like I just said, 60 in Killeen, 61 in Gatesville, 57 right now in Lampasas. So south wind still ongoing, bringing in a little bit more Gulf moisture back into the air. So we're seeing wind speeds anywhere between 5 to 10 miles per hour, a little bit higher amounts or a little bit higher mile per hour winds in Comanche at 16 right now, 11 mile per hour winds over in Mejia, 7 mile per hour winds right here in Waco. So here's that cloud cover, been kind of hanging out with us for much of the weekend. And we're seeing a little bit of some radar, a little bit of greens pop up on radar. But again, we have that dry layer of air right above the surface, so not a whole lot of precipitation is falling. Of course, it's further off to our northwest. But here's our next storm system way off in the eastern Pacific over near Baja, California. You can kind of see its counterclockwise rotation. This will eventually make a swing into Texas, and that's what's going to bring our rain chance heading into early Wednesday morning. So tomorrow's going to be nice. Tuesday's going to be nice. We're also going to uptake a little bit of that moisture heading into Tuesday afternoon, so it's going to be kind of humid on Tuesday. Not too bad though. Temperatures hanging out in the 80s. Clouds should break in the afternoon on Monday, and then we'll wake up a little bit to some clouds on Tuesday morning. Those should break in the afternoon. We're going to go some broken clouds, maybe some partial sunshine for your Monday and Tuesday. Late Tuesday night into early Wednesday morning, that's when that low pressure system starts to ride into central Texas, and that's going to bring a chance of rain for your morning commute, but should push off to the northeast by the afternoon hours, and we're going to see some mostly sunny skies to finish out our Monday. So tonight we're going to go a low of 56, mainly cloudy, becoming breezy. Winds out of the south-southwest, 10 to 20, some gusting 25 miles per hour. And then we're going to uptick the winds tomorrow afternoon, some gusting 30 miles per hour, but definitely warmer, 81 degrees. Some clouds, some sunshine in the afternoon, kind of back and forth. a little bit more sunshine tomorrow, I think, than we did see today. Your long-range 10-day forecast looks like this. It's going to remain relatively breezy Monday, Tuesday, and then of course, it's going to get windy on Wednesday ahead of that cold front moving in. A 60% chance for some showers and thunderstorms Wednesday morning here in Waco, Temple, and Killeen, but still going to keep those temperatures pretty nice in the upper 70s and lower 80s. We have a secondary cold front moving in on Thursday, but the atmosphere is basically going to be ripped of its moisture, so we're not going to see any sort of rainfall with that. It's only going to knock those highs back just a tad until this weekend. They climb back up into those upper 70s and lower 80s once again. Bryan and College Station, high of 79 tomorrow. Going to wake up to some patchy fog in the morning, but once that sunshine kind of comes out, starts to evaporate that fog. Also going to be breezy up until about Thursday with these two systems moving in. Only a 40% chance for some showers and thunderstorms down in the Brazos Valley. Overnight lows are going to primarily be relatively warm in those 60s. Until then, PJ, back to you.
Thanks, Haley. Coming up on Fox 44, we'll tell you who won this year's Daytona 500. And down goes number one. Baylor softball picked up a huge win today. Those highlights are coming up next in sports.
Monday. Where is he? There's only one episode left until the explosive season finale. All new Alert Missing Persons Unit, Monday at 9 on Fox.
39.
15. 25.
What do all these people have in common? They all have a number of miles they were willing to drive to get the best tractor for them at the right price. Right now at J5, you can get a Mahindra 1626 for $377 a month and 0% interest for 60 months. Trust the team at J5 to help you with what you need now and have room to grow. Mahindra tractors, the world's #1 selling tractor, are tough thanks to a heavy-duty steel frame and built-in weight. J5 means the best equipment, fair prices, and quality service. No matter your number, it's always worth a drive at J5.
Coming?
The Volkswagen Taos, German engineering everyone can get into. Visit your Volkswagen dealer this President's Day and get 3.9% APR for 72 months on most new 2023 SUVs.
At Navy Federal Credit Union, it all starts with members like you. Because we were founded as a not-for-profit with a mission dedicated to your well-being, with everyday banking tools and loans, all backed by 24/7 support. The kind of support that comes from being a proud partner within your community. Because when you're a member, it all starts and ends with you. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission.
Let me help you with that. I'm good, man. Thanks. Are you sure?
Everyone can use a little help. Volkswagen Tiguan with Front Assist. Visit your Volkswagen dealer this President's Day and get 3.9% APR for 72 months on most new 2023 SUVs.
They said if I got drunk,
if I did coke,
I'd be one of the guys. They said meth would help me get through my exams.
They said sniffing glue was no big deal.
Totally safe.
I could party all night.
They said heroin would be the best high I ever had.
It would help me forget my problems.
He said he'd love me forever if I smoked crack with him.
They said I wouldn't get hooked after the first hit.
They said that Ritalin would help me focus.
They said weed wouldn't lead to harder drugs.
They lied.
He lied. Find out the truth about drugs.
Drugfreeworld.org.
Drugfreeworld.org.
Welcome back. Today was the 2023 Daytona 500, kicking off the NASCAR Cup Series season. Fox's Jamie Little spoke to the winner and shares the excitement.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr., it has been a long time coming. The one difference? Mike Kelly, your crew chief, is back. You won 2 championships together, and now you won the Daytona 500. Was it just magic together that made the difference here?
Yeah, I think this whole offseason, Mike just preached how much we all believed in each other. They left me a note on the car that said they believe in me and to go get the job done tonight. I made a few mistakes. We were able to battle back. This Kroger Cottonelle team worked really, really hard this offseason. Great pit stops, Hendrick engines, glad a Chevy won. Man, this is unbelievable. This is the site of my last win back in 2017. We've worked really hard. We had a couple shots last year to get a win and fell short. It was a tough season, but man, we got it done. Daytona 500.
You have a knack for this style of racing, and we went into overtime, so you had to do it a couple of times and earn it. What were those moments like, and what were you watching? What made the difference initially at the end?
Yeah, you know, when the 8 went to the bottom there, you know, I was able to push the 22 and the 5. We had a huge run. I was hoping we were going to get to the white there, and we didn't, so I knew I was going to take the top. I was hoping the 22 was going to follow, and he did. He was able to push us out. I went to the bottom, the 8 and the 22, you know, got a huge run. The 5, you know, split me in the middle, but another fellow dirt racer with Bell gave me a good shot down the little short chute into 1, and man, we were out front when the caution came out. We were out of fuel, so the fuel light was going crazy. But man, I hope y'all had fun. That was a heck of a race.
Congratulations. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. wins the Daytona 500.
Fox 44 Sports with Parker Reed.
Well, it's been quite the weekend for the Baylor softball team at the Getterman Classic. The first 7-inning perfect game in program history to go along with a 2-0 start heading into Sunday. And they had the chance to put the cherry on top with a win over the best in the nation. And the Sooner faithful and Baylor faithful, it was about 50-50. They showed out in full force to Getterman Stadium for this matchup. In the top of the second is where we pick things up. Alina Torres gets under 1, a drive to deep center. Mackenzie Wilson can't come up with it at the warning track. She slides in for a triple, and Oklahoma's knocking on the door, and they would convert. Jada Coleman hits a dribbler to left, and it's right through the legs of Amber Tovin as the Sooners strike first. But lots of fight coming from this Baylor team today. In the bottom half, Tovin coming up clutch with a base hit up the middle. That drives in Presley Pylan, and the Bears tie it up at 1. Then in the third inning, Shaylin Govan and someone call Safelite because there's a windshield in need of repair in that parking lot. The 3-run jack puts Baylor on top 4-1 over the #1 team in the country, but they wouldn't give in easy. Too bad the Bears don't care. Runner on second, and Aaliyah Binford with a quick reaction to end the innings. She moves to the circle to close out the game after that. And after giving up 2 in the 6th, down to their last out, Alyssa Brito makes contact, but it's a pop-up straight to Mackenzie Wilson. She's underneath it, and Baylor does the unthinkable. Down goes the 2-time defending national champions with a big 4-3 win for this Baylor squad.
We're going to accomplish a lot of things. As soon as the beginning of this tournament, Coach Moore was like, this is our den, and we're going to fight to the end, and we're going to win every game here no matter what it takes, and that's exactly what we did.
And it's so cool, I think. The best part about my job and why I love going out to film those games is you get to see moments like that where, like, stuff like that shouldn't happen all the time. But then, you know, just a magical day, and just the tides were in favor of the Baylor Bears today.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I played softball for a little while. Got hit in the face, quit immediately. So I give them props for
for sticking with it, for getting hit in the face and continuing
doing great,
on their softball
They're
journey.
doing great. They're
Look
doing
at
great.
that.
Thanks, Parker. Well, next on Fox 44, people across the country are reflecting on Jimmy Carter's legacy.
Hi, this is Pastor Ramiro Pena, inviting you to join us every Sunday morning here on Fox 44 at 9:30 a.m.
The old saying is you should walk a mile in someone's shoes to get to know them. We agree. The Johnson family still works the land and operates the same equipment we sell to you. If it's not good enough for our family, it's not good enough for yours. Right now, you can get a Mahindra 4540 for $396 a month at 0% interest for 72 months. Trust the team at J5 to help you with what you need now and have room to grow. Mahindra tractors, the #1 selling tractor, are tough thanks to a heavy-duty steel frame and built-in weight. J5 means the best equipment, fair prices, and quality service. And remember, it's always worth the drive to J5.
Time is running out for a $7,500 tax credit on a legendary Jeep Wrangler 4xe during our President's Day sales event at Nile Maxwell in Killeen. You can drive one for only $552 a month. Exit 287 off the Central Texas Expressway.
I shop them, I shop them, I shop them.
to make sure you are getting the best price on every brand name in town and online without any misleading ads or gimmicks. Waco Mattress Center is starting our 24th year of great service with the largest selection of mattresses in town thanks to you. Shop where the locals go and trust. Waco Mattress Center on Valley Mills Drive. I'm Carol Weaver, your local mattress expert. Thank you for your business and keeping it local.
Leroy, the CTWP copier dog here with another round of good cheer. If you need to copy, fax, shred, or mail, just follow the happy wag of my tail to CTWP, your copier company.
Don't miss the all-new celebrity reveals on The Masked Singer, Wednesdays on Fox.
Time is running out for a $7,500 tax credit on a legendary Jeep Wrangler 4xE during our President's Day sales event at Nile Maxwell in Killeen. You can drive one for only $552 a month. Exit 287 off the Central Texas Expressway.
Who am I? See that one?
Welcome back. Former President Jimmy Carter has entered home hospice care in Plains, Georgia. People across the country are reflecting on his legacy. Fox's Caroline Shively has more.
Former President Jimmy Carter is resting at his Georgia home after deciding to no longer seek life-prolonging medical treatment.
There's a kindness. There's like a genuine level of kindness there.
Support is pouring in for former President Jimmy Carter as he undergoes hospice care at home. The Carter Center announcing Saturday the 98-year-old has chosen to spend his remaining time with family following a series of short hospital stays. Carter's grandson, a former Georgia state senator, tweeted Saturday, "I saw both of my grandparents yesterday. They are at peace, and as always, their home is full of love." In 2015, Carter was diagnosed with melanoma that had spread to his liver and brain. He later said he's been declared cancer-free. Despite his health challenges, Carter maintained an active lifestyle, working with his nonprofit, the Carter Center, and building homes with Habitat for Humanity. The organization's CEO issuing a statement, "We pray for his comfort and for their peace, and that the Carter family experiences the joy of their relationships with each other and with God in this time." A devout Christian, Carter taught Sunday school into his 90s, once telling congregants he was at ease with whatever may come.
There's no doubt that everybody in this room is given life, and secondly, I know that every one of you has the freedom to decide what kind of life you want to live.
At 98 years old, Jimmy Carter has lived longer than any other president in U.S. history. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
Coming up next on Fox 44, reactions pour in after Secretary of State Blinken meets with his Chinese counterpart over the spy aircraft and the war in Ukraine.
The new Fox 44 News app is redesigned with you in mind. Download or update the all-new Fox 44 News app today and get your news now.
The President's Day sales event is happening now at Allen Samuels in Waco. Shop the great selection of new cars, trucks, and SUVs and get amazing deals on new Ram trucks, Jeep SUVs, Chrysler sedans, and minivans, or a sporty Dodge. Get more for less guaranteed. More value, more selection, more service, and more trade-in allowance. And of course, if we don't have exactly what you want in stock, we can help you build the custom car, truck, SUV, or van of your dreams and order it today. It's the President's Day sales event at Allen Samuels in Waco.
Come by, let's be friends.
The Rooms to Go President's Day sale ends Monday. Now get big savings on stylish living rooms like this. Just $19.99 or $37 a month interest-free. Save on great-looking bedrooms like this. Just $9.99 or $19 a month interest-free. Or this stylish bedroom. Choose dining room values like this. It's room after room, all at low sale prices with 55-month interest-free financing. Again, the Rooms to Go President's Day sale ends Monday.
Do you know an amazing kid that's excelled in sports, community, or education? Join Fox 44 and Lone Star Roof Systems to recognize the achievements of these amazing individuals in the Brazos Valley. Starting June 1st, 2022, you can nominate one student under 12 years of age that deserves to be recognized for our 12 and under 12 Amazing Kids Spotlight. Go to fox44news.com/12under12 to nominate your pick. Sponsored by Lone Star Roof Systems.
New year, new you, and a new us. Join the Armed Services YMCA Killeen. We're a family-positive place that provides a safe community environment for the entire family. Join now with no joiner's fee. That's up to $100 in savings. Starting January 2nd, get a free gift of a workout bag while supplies last. A nurturing place for kids with after-school and camp. At the Armed Services YMCA Killeen. It's a new year. Let's make it a new you with us at asymca.org.
Craig Fennessy is a friend. I'm not gonna let him down.
Fennessy murdered our agent.
Monday.
Maybe you don't know Craig as well as you think you do.
I know he's innocent.
There's only one episode left until the explosive season finale.
Where is he?
All new alert, Missing Persons Unit, Monday at 9 on Fox.
Covering West, Lampasas, and College Station. This is Fox 44 News at 9.
Welcome back. Secretary of State Antony Blinken meeting face-to-face yesterday in Munich with his Chinese counterpart for the first time since the U.S. shot down the Chinese spy balloon 2 weeks ago. This comes as lawmakers question why the U.S. has called off the search for the two other objects shot down over Alaska and Lake Huron last weekend. Fox's David Spunt is at the White House with the latest.
4 objects in total, all shot down by the U.S. military. The only one recovered, the Chinese spy balloon. And we are told by senior administration officials the other 3 likely have no ties to China. Canada suspended the search to recover one over the Yukon Territory. Now here's White House spokesman John Kirby this morning.
We've called off now the search in Lake Huron and the one over Alaska, so we may never know completely. But the leading intelligence community assessment is that they were probably for benign purposes, whether it's weather or commercial scientific research.
Meanwhile, President Biden says he plans to speak to his counterpart, Chinese President Xi Jinping, about the Chinese balloon incident after Secretary of State Antony Blinken met with his counterpart, Wang Yi, in Germany over the weekend, although the Chinese did not apologize and are spinning the story.
They're lying about the balloon the same way they've lied about COVID. And it's time for us to stop being reactionary to China and start actually being aggressive and letting China know what we expect of them.
The president leaves on Monday for Poland to mark the grim one-year anniversary of the war in Ukraine, and Secretary Blinken made it clear to his counterpart China's help to Russia is unacceptable.
China has been engaged in providing rhetorical, political, diplomatic support to Russia, but we have information that gives us concern that they are considering providing lethal support to Russia in the war against Ukraine. And it was important for me to share very clearly with Wang Yi that this would be a serious problem.
As of now, White House officials say there is no plan for President Biden to physically enter Ukraine. At the White House, David Spunt, Fox News.
Well, Texas Governor Greg Abbott will be paying a visit to Temple tomorrow to be the special guest for a Parent Empowerment Coalition event. The coalition is hosting its Parent Empowerment Night, which will take place from 6 p.m. until 7 p.m. at the Central Texas Christian School. The school is located at 4141 West Highway 93. The coalition will be highlighting the school and discussing the growing need and desire for parent empowerment. The organization says that parent empowerment is built on the foundational principles of transparency, quality, respect, and choice, and they want to bring the community together to focus on these things. Governor Greg Abbott has made education one of his top priorities this year, and the coalition says it's honored to host him as a special guest speaker at the upcoming event. And bipartisan calls for an investigation into the train derailment that spilled toxic chemicals into a small Ohio community. The crash and controlled burn of poisons forced thousands in East Palestine to flee their homes. The EPA says it has not detected any contaminants in the town's drinking water, and that tests have shown the air is safe to breathe. But as Fox's Garrett Tenney reports, many residents in East Palestine and other nearby towns are concerned about the potential long-term health effects.
It's now been more than 2 weeks since the train derailment, and people here are still feeling sick despite officials saying the data suggests the air and water are safe. And these are just the short-term symptoms from chemical exposure. Even more concerning to a lot of people here is what health issues they could potentially be dealing with 10 to 15 years down the road as a result of this disaster.
I think we do need to be concerned about the long-term effects of exposure to this chemical. Back in 2012, there were hundreds of people who went to the ER in the aftermath of that train derailment, and a lot of them did have symptoms, but fortunately, most of those symptoms went away pretty quickly within a month or so of the exposure. But again, the long-term effects do take years, sometimes decades, to actually occur.
Norfolk Southern Railway has promised it will be here for the long haul to make things right. And during his visit to the area this weekend, the railway CEO reiterated that commitment.
This has been devastating to this community, and I want to make sure you understand I am terribly sorry that this happened to the community. Norfolk Southern is fully committed to doing what's right for this community.
City and state officials say so far Norfolk Southern has done everything it's promised to, but they acknowledge there is a very long road ahead, and if at any point the railway tries to walk away, there will be plenty of lawsuits to follow. In East Palestine, Ohio, I'm Garrett Tenney, Fox News.
Well, it's Girl Scout cookie season, which means young girls all over the country are trying to win over the hearts and appetites of their family, friends, and neighbors for a good cause. Earlier today, Fox 44's Hannah Hoover visited with a local Girl Scout troop to see if they're close to reaching their cookie sale goals.
Girl Scouts cookie season is here, and Central Texans love visiting places like Lowe's or Walmart to find their favorite cookie snacks. But it's so much more than just dessert, because these cookies help girls learn more about the outdoors, life skills, entrepreneurship, and STEM. Cookie sales allow Girl Scouts to experience new adventures and learn. The Girl Scout Cookie Program is the largest girl-led entrepreneurship program in the world. Girl Scout Jasa Cowan has exceeded her goal of selling 800 boxes with nearly 1,000 boxes sold. Jasa has been a Girl Scout for 8 years. She explains why Girl Scouts is important to her.
It helps with our social anxiety to let ourselves out there. I've actually made some really good friends in here.
Jasa also enjoys going on camping trips and attending science fairs thanks to her cookie sales. Jasa's mom, Savannah Humphrey, has seen a lot of growth in her daughter as well as other girls in the program. Real life lessons and leadership skills is what Girl Scouts teach.
Working outside of the stores, it gives them that real life interaction with people that they really just don't know. I've seen some girls blossom from being very, very shy to very open, and I've seen them sell some cookies too.
The entrepreneurial spirit of Girl Scouts teaches them goal setting, decision making, money management, people skills, and business ethics. Local Girl Scouts are on track to reach their cookie sale goals this year. Cookie sales have been extended to March 5th due to the recent ice storm. But for now, I'm going to enjoy this cookie. In Waco, Hannah Hoover, Fox 44 News.
Whether it's hot or cold outside, we can keep you comfy inside.
Call Mike Spouse Services at 254-757-0191. We support the Baylor Bears. Sick 'em Bears.
With quick quality service and 3 locations in Central Texas, Big Zach's Tire Shack has the experience to get you back on the road today.
Come see your boys at Big Zach's Tire Shack.
Chevy Silverado factory lifted trucks. With the capability of a 2-inch lift, the versatility of the available multi-flex tailgate, and the connection of a 13.4-inch diagonal touchscreen. Chevy Silverado, taking adventure to a whole new level.
Get 2.99% financing for 5 years on all 2023 Silverado 1500 pickups, or get $1,750 total cash allowance on this Silverado with a 2.7-liter engine. Plus, current competitive owners get an additional $750 cash allowance.
Construction Edge is the #1 place in Central Texas for a Yanmar tractor, and we offer 10-year financing on the most powerful and fuel-efficient tractors in Central Texas. If you're looking for better equipment, better price, less breakdown, better part availability, and a better warranty, shop Construction Edge. Visit ConstructionEdge.com to browse our showroom and inventory, or shop online for attachments. For the best brands, prices, and service, shop Construction Edge Equipment in Waco.
Special Forces World's Toughest Test, Wednesdays on Fox.
When it's cold outside, we'll keep you warm and cozy inside.
Call Mike Spouse Services at 254-757-0191. We support the Baylor Bears. Sick 'em Bears.
It's about character. It's about belief.
Break!
It's about trust. This is not an adventure race. This is a military selection.
Do I still have that fire?
They've entered our world. They will play by our rules.
Special Forces World's Toughest Test, Wednesdays on Fox, and watch anytime on Hulu.
The Fox 44 News mobile app, localized, weather rate certified, most accurate weather forecasts. Mike LaPointe and the Fox 44 Storm Team, warning you first and keeping you safe. The Fox 44 weather forecast with weather rate certified meteorologist Haley Fitzpatrick.
All right, Haley, I have a weather wife for you. You ready?
Yes, go for it.
So why is it today that when I brushed my hair, it went everywhere? Static electricity. What is that? Can you
it also has to do with the studio that we're in. I feel like there's so much static electricity in the studio because by the time I brush my hair, it's like flying out to here. But basically, in the wintertime, it's drier. We don't have any moisture in the air, so there's no water to kind of basically relieve us from that static electricity. In the wintertime, dry air, you get static electricity. Oh, so there you go.
There you go.
Weather-wise on that. I think a couple months ago.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yeah, if you want to see it, check out our website at fox44news.com. Type in weather-wise, static electricity, I think I did, meteorologist Haley Fitzpatrick. There you go. I got it for you. But hey, yeah, it's warmer today than it was this time yesterday. Anywhere between maybe 5 to 10, 15 degrees warmer right now at this time than yesterday at this time. So Waco, of course, always wants to be the dramatic one and show out. And of course, we're only 4 degrees warmer right now today than we were this time yesterday. But besides that, yeah, very warm. Going to continue to see unseasonably warm air through the rest of the work week. Our next rain chance moves in by midweek with another cold front. We have a secondary cold front that moves in on Thursday, but the atmosphere is going to be kind of ridden of moisture, so we're not going to see any rainfall, but it's going to provide some cooler air for Thursday and Friday. Cooler as in back down closer to our seasonal average for this time of year, which should be about 64, 65 degrees, in the mid-60s for us. Right here in Central Texas. But right now in Temple, this is our live Centex Seamless Gutter Sky Tracker, seeing some mostly cloudy skies, maybe some partly cloudy skies intermixed in that. 61 degrees right now with a south wind around 9 miles per hour. All across the board, temperatures in those 50s and 60s. There's Waco. There you go. Always wanting to be the cooler one. 53 degrees, 60 in Killeen, 59 in Gatesville, 56 in Limpasas, 59 in Cameron, 62 over in Mejia at this moment. So we have a south wind progressively continue to be out of the south, and that's continually bringing in some Gulf moisture here across Central Texas. Wind speeds anywhere between 5 to 10 miles per hour. Comanche looking at 15 miles per hour at this moment. 7 miles per hour in Waco, 9 miles per hour over in Mejia at this moment. So here's that cloud cover, been kind of hanging out with us for much of the weekend. It'll be with us through the overnight into tomorrow. Should try to break in the afternoon hours, but our next storm system is on the horizon off in the eastern Pacific Ocean, but you can kind of see the counterclockwise rotation with this low pressure system. This will eventually slide into Central Texas. It's going to make kind of a southward dip and then push off to the northeast into Texas, and that's what's going to bring our rainfall for Wednesday morning. So your Wednesday morning commute could see some rain, but it should push out of here by the afternoon hours, and then we'll see some clear skies heading into Wednesday afternoon and evening. So tomorrow's going to be nice. We're going to see temperatures in the 80s, okay? We're going to climb into those lower 80s for much of Central Texas. Clouds will start to break in the afternoon hours, heading into the overnight Monday into Tuesday. We'll start to see clouds try to push in from the southeast, but I think it'll kind of cut our viewing area in half. Northwest counties will see mostly clear skies. Southeastern counties will wake up to some mostly cloudy skies on Tuesday morning. Once again, clouds flush out by the afternoon hours. Temperatures also in the 80s on Tuesday. Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, here comes that rainfall with that little low pressure system coming out from the west of us, and that'll push in here and move out to the northeast. By the afternoon, we'll be left with some mostly clear skies. So rainfall totals aren't going to amount to too much. I think west of I-35 could see maybe 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch. Maybe east and northeast of I-35 could see about 1/4 of an inch to possibly 1/2 an inch of rain. So tonight, 56 degrees, mainly cloudy, becoming breezy, and we're going to stay breezy heading into tomorrow. Those clouds will start to break in the afternoon, maybe expose some sunshine with a high of 81 degrees. Look how nice that is. Your long-range 10-day forecast looks like this. We're going to climb a couple degrees warmer on Tuesday, maintaining those breezy conditions, as well as moving into Wednesday. I'm going to go from breezy to now windy on Wednesday ahead of that cold front. 60% chance for some showers and thunderstorms in the morning. Should push out of here by around lunchtime, and we'll see some mostly clear skies for the afternoon. There's that secondary cold front that moves in on Thursday. Again, no moisture in the atmosphere, so all it's really going to do is knock those high temperatures back into the upper 60s here for Waco, Temple, and Killeen, but not going to last long because by the weekend, we'll climb back up into those upper 70s and lower 80s. Over in Bryan College Station, waking up to some patchy fog. But once that air really starts to warm up, we'll see a high of 79 degrees. Going to go some partial sunshine in the afternoon hours. Here's that cold front on Wednesday. Not too high of rain chances down in the Brazos Valley, but I could see maybe 1/10 of an inch or less than that over in the Brazos Valley. Temperatures remain warm, mid to upper 70s, lower 80s. Overnight lows primarily also going to be warm in those 60s. Until then, PJ, back to you.
Thanks, Haley. You've heard of the Baylor Bears playing in the NFL, but how about the XFL? Well, a pair made their debut today. That's coming up next in sports.
The Fox 44 News mobile app, localized, weather rate certified, most accurate weather forecast. Mike LaPointe and the Fox 44 Storm Team, warning you first and keeping you safe.
0% financing for 72 months is back at Nile Maxwell in Killeen. During our President's Day sales event, 0% financing will save you $12,967 over 72 months on a 2022 Ram Quadcast. 0% financing at Nile Maxwell in Killeen.
This is a Tempur-Pedic mattress, and it's designed to help make aches and pains a thing of the past. Because only Tempur-Pedic uses our one-of-a-kind, incredibly adaptive Tempur material to relieve pressure points and support your body in a way no other mattress can. Molecule by molecule and millimeter by millimeter. All night, every night.
Save up to $500 on select Tempur-Pedic adjustable mattress sets and get a $300 gift. Denver Mattress, the easiest way to get the right Tempur-Pedic.
Go faster with 99.9% reliable internet from Optimum. Get 300 meg internet for as low as $30 a month with no annual contract. Stay connected on award-winning internet with 99.9% reliability and whole home Wi-Fi coverage. Plus, equipment is included. Go from 300 meg internet for as low as $30 a month to achieving more throughout the year. Call 866-9-OPTIMUM. Go to Optimum.com or visit your local store. Call, click, or visit a store today.
Marwani, get out of there!
I froze up in the field. I am resigning.
911 Lone Star, all new Tuesday at 8/7 Central on Fox.
0% financing for 72 months is back at Nile Maxwell in Killeen. During our President's Day sales event, 0% financing will save you $12,967 over 72 months on a 2022 Ram Quadcast. 0% financing at Nile Maxwell in Killeen.
Young Sheldon Boy Genius, a small-town boy with a heightened sense of smell.
Ew. Put your shoes back on.
Young Sheldon.
Weeknights at 5 and 6:30 on Fox 44.
BYOT Auto Parts is ready to buy any car you want to sell. And when we say any car, we mean any car. Whether it looks like this, even this. We'll pay top dollar on the spot and pick it up for free. That's cash today for your car, whether it runs or not. Call now to get the best price or go online to BYOTAutoparts.com. It's so easy. At
BYOT Auto Parts. BYOT Auto Parts. Bring your own tools, pull your own parts.
Fox 44 Sports with Parker Reed.
Welcome back. The all-time series with the Oklahoma Sooners, it hasn't been kind to Baylor softball, to say the least. Coming into today's matchup at the Getterman Classic, a 16-game losing streak against the Sooners hung over the Bears as Oklahoma's reign of dominance showed out. But the Bears put the past behind them today and looked to do the impossible, take down the #1 team in the country. And the Sooner faithful and Baylor faithful showing out in full force to Getterman Stadium for this matchup. In the top of the second is where we start things off. Elena Torres gets under one, a drive to deep center, and Mackenzie Wilson can't come up with it at the wall. She slides in for the triple, and Oklahoma's knocking on the door, and they would convert. Jada Coleman hits a dribbler to left, and it's right through the legs of Amber Tovin as the Sooners strike first. But lots of fight came from the Baylor Bears today. In the bottom half, we go. Tovin coming in clutch with the base hit up the middle. That drives in Presley Pylin, and the Bears tie it up at 1 apiece. Then in the third inning, Shaylin Govan says, "Give me that." Someone calls Safe Light Repair, Safe Light Replace, because there's a windshield in need of repair out there in the parking lot. The 3-run jack puts Baylor on top 4-1 over the #1 team in the country, but they wouldn't give in easy. Too bad the Bears don't care what you guys had to say. Runner on second, Aaliyah Binford with a quick reaction to end the inning. She moves to the circle to close out the game, and after giving up 2 in the 6th, down to their last out, Alyssa Brito makes contact, but it's a pop-up, and Mackenzie Wilson is underneath it. Baylor does the unthinkable. Down goes number 1, a huge 4-3 win for the Bears that no doubt have some more confidence going forward.
Well, first of all, I'm just so proud of our players and how the effort they've given to get to this point, and to be able to turn things around the way we have. So this is a good bunch. They come to play every day. They come to practice every day. So this is a signature win that will grow up a young team in a hurry.
And across the way at Baylor Ballpark, after a 20-5 loss yesterday in Game 2, the Bears fell just short of the rubber match to drop the series to Central Michigan. The Bears will now move on to their next matchup against Houston Christian on Tuesday. And another team looking to bounce back is the Baylor women's basketball team. After yet another heartbreaking loss to Iowa State in double overtime yesterday, the door once again opened up for criticism toward Nikki Collin and her squad. And after the game, Collin became emotional post-game, talking about the struggles that this Baylor team has endured this season. Despite being in multiple games against ranked teams, the Bears just haven't been able to close out those games, but that doesn't mean this team doesn't have the talent. And for Coach Collin, it certainly doesn't mean they're giving up on this year.
For all the people that think I should be fired and have a lot to say, A, I don't read it. A, I don't. So, and B, people that know. And people that don't. And I'm just going to keep coaching my butt off. And we're going to keep getting better. And, you know, and it just doesn't matter what people say.
As for the Baylor men's basketball team, the first half looked like it was the Bears' game to lose. Baylor came out hot, making everything they put up virtually. However, the second half belonged all to the Kansas Jayhawks. Whatever Bill Self told his squad at halftime, they need to package that up and wholesale it somewhere. With the season series evened up now, the Bears now turn their attention to the rest of Big 12 play and putting together an entire game next time around.
I thought first half we were good, held them to 32 points. They had a couple looks they missed, but we did a decent job identifying personnel and what they wanted to do. Second half, complete breakdown.
I don't think the struggle primarily was offense. It was just more of being the toughest team out there and getting back in transition, guarding the ball, and we didn't do it in the second half. And they exploited that, and we just got to be better. We got to do 40 full minutes. We can't do one half and not the other.
Flipping from basketball to football now, we've mentioned plenty of Bears making their impact in the pros in the NFL this year, but even when the NFL season is over, Bears are still making their presence known in the XFL. A few Baylor Bears got their chance in the professional ranks once more, including Josh Gordon, the former Baylor alum, who caught the opening touchdown of the game, and also Abram Smith, the former Baylor Bear, was the #1 overall pick in the XFL draft for the DC Defenders, and the rushing attack came alive late as they lead Seattle late in the fourth quarter, at least as far as I was concerned as I walked out of here. And with all of these sports in Central Texas, it's hard to keep track sometimes, so we make it easy for you. Make sure to go follow along on our Instagram page at Fox44 Sports, where we post all the action in one place. But for tonight, that's sports. Back to you, PJ.
Thanks, Parker. Still to come on Fox 44, we'll tell you how Louisiana kicked off Mardi Gras celebrations.
Now it's all about survival.
There are only 2 episodes left.
When attack, let's go!
Anyone can be gone just like that. Special Forces World's Toughest Test, all new Wednesday on Fox.
The best keep getting better. Ford SUVs are #1 in brand loyalty. And your Texas Ford dealer has a great SUV inventory, with more arriving daily so you can choose your favorite. Edge, Bronco Sport, Escape, Explorer, and Expedition. Getting your new SUV has never been easier. Choose select Ford SUVs and get 0% for 36 months plus up to $3,000 cash. Visit your best in Texas Ford dealer today.
News Nation exposed Mexican drug cartels invading our hometowns. Now, have they infiltrated our military too? The man who helped bring down El Chapo says yes. Our exclusive Cartels in America investigation continues. Monday on Cuomo. Special guest Bill O'Reilly on Cuomo.
Time for my weekly dose of perspective.
TV's liveliest, most honest debate.
Let me remind you of something, Cuomo. Please.
Monday at 8, 7 Central.
I'm hitting you with facts, Cuomo. Hold on.
Only on News Nation.
Hurry, time's running out to find valuable Rooms to Go President's Day sale bonus coupons in your newspaper, online, or on your Rooms to Go app. Your last chance for extra bonus savings. Your last chance to find coupons that will save you big on great-looking furniture. Your last chance for can't-miss President's Day sale deals. Plus, if you act now, you can finance your furniture interest-free for 55 months. Don't wait. The Rooms to Go President's Day bonus coupon sale ends Monday.
She said she wasn't hungry. She only wanted a bite. But this isn't just a patty melt. This is a Whataburger patty melt. The all-time favorite. With 2 all-beef patties, Monterey Jack, grilled onions, and creamy pepper sauce. So 1 bite became 2. And 2 became mine. Just a bite, huh? Mark that one down as a lesson learned. The Whataburger patty melt. Just like you like it.
Take it to another. Green flag.
It's take 2 for NASCAR's best. In a race you have to see to believe. The Clash of the Coliseum.
J5 Tractors. It's always worth a drive to J5. Congratulations to the Fox 44 Storm Team, Central Texas certified most accurate forecast.
Well, welcome back. Mardi Gras in New Orleans is right around the corner, and people are starting to prep for the big celebrations. The only way that makes sense. With vibrant outfits, music, and a very bright display of colors, hundreds were out in the streets warming up for the big party of Mardi Gras this upcoming Tuesday. The traditional celebration commemorates the close of pre-Lenten season, and it always falls the day before Ash Wednesday.
I'm surprised I didn't see any of my family members on that float.
Really?
Yeah, my mom's
Now?
side's from Louisiana, so they're like crazy about Mardi Gras.
I did not know that about you.
Mm-hmm.
That is
Yes.
super awesome.
Yes,
That
no.
is super
Have you
awesome.
ever
Mardi
gone to
Gras is a big
celebrate
thing.
with them?
I have not. I'm from St. Louis, and they also have a huge Mardi Gras celebration.
Okay.
So I've been a
like
couple
the second,
times.
Okay.
It's like the second biggest.
Yeah, it's in the top
Yeah,
10.
well, Galveston. Yeah, because I'm from Houston, and even Galveston, I mean, I guess we're by the water. It's a,
Yeah.
I don't know, a little weird. But, I mean, it's a huge deal over there. So.
I know, right? Yeah, it's big.
Yeah.
Mardi Gras is a big celebration.
Probably
but-
pretty nice over there in New Orleans.
It is, yeah.
like
Yeah, exactly.
Weather-wise?
No rain. Yeah, no rain. Yeah, I should this week. But hey, it's going to be warm for your Monday, Tuesday, actually for the rest of your work week, upper 70s, lower 80s. Also going to uptick those wind speeds heading into tonight. And it's going to last through about Thursday morning. Next cold front moves in Wednesday morning, providing a 60% chance for some showers and thunderstorms on your Wednesday morning commute.
Well, thank you, Haley. Be sure to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and our website at fox44news.com. Good night.
For adventure. For climbing. For splashing. For towing. For premium. For capable. The GMC AT4 lineup. Premium and capable. That's professional grade from GMC. Or get 2.9% APR and no monthly payments for 90 days on turbo high output engine Sierra light duty models.
Centex Roof Systems has been serving Central Texas and Waco since 1987. Built on old-fashioned family values, core beliefs, and morals, we strive to go above and beyond to make your project run as smoothly as possible. When you call your hometown commercial roofer, you know we'll exceed expectations to provide unique solutions for your roofing needs, payment options, and even insurance claims. Big or small, there's no job that Centex Roof Systems can't handle. Your hometown commercial roofer.
I shop them, I shop them, I shop them to make sure you are getting the best price on every brand name in town and online without any misleading ads or gimmicks. Waco Mattress Center is starting our 24th year of great service with the largest selection of mattresses in town thanks to you. Shop where the locals go and trust. Waco Mattress Center on Valley Mills Drive. I'm Carol Weaver, your local mattress expert. Thank you for your business and keeping it local.
Download or update the Fox 44 News mobile app and get your news now.
With a statewide audience watching, Governor Greg Abbott makes a vow to push for school choice.
Some parents are hindered in being able to help their child succeed. That must change this year.
The governor's plan to give parents more power and the mixed response it's receiving. A leaked conversation reveals a high-level Texas Education Agency employee talking about the cost of school choice. What public districts could lose if it happens.
We'd like to see change. We'd like to help be agents of change.
From a family's fight to make a difference after a loved one was abused, to leaders now looking at legislation, how it could help speed up change for nursing homes and assisted living facilities in Texas.
Produced from the Capitol in Austin and airing statewide, this is the award-winning State of Texas.
Hello, and thank you for joining us. I'm Josh Hinkle. Governor Abbott officially laid out his list of emergency items for lawmakers to tackle this session. He gave his State of the State address Thursday night. Traditionally, the address happens in the Texas House chambers, but for the second time in as many sessions, the governor took the address away from the Capitol. He delivered the speech at Novion Magnetics. That's a cutting-edge manufacturing facility in San Marcos. The governor touted the state's economy and called for continued investment in workforce skills programs to create a stronger pipeline for high-paying jobs. The governor named 7 emergency items in his address: cutting property taxes, ending COVID restrictions, school choice, school safety, bail reform, border security, and addressing what he calls the fentanyl crisis. The governor gave a full endorsement of school choice. He outlined a plan for state funding to empower parents to have more of a say in what their children learn. Abbott called it education freedom.
Without that freedom, some parents are hindered in being able to help their child succeed. That must change this year. The way to do that is with school choice through state-funded education savings accounts. We've seen them work in other states, and we've also seen them work right here in the state of Texas. I created education savings accounts for special needs students. It worked so well, a bipartisan supermajority passed it into law and are now seeking to increase funding for it. Now what we need to do, we want to expand that program to provide every parent with the ability to choose the best education option for their child.